Hello friends, so in today's question, find the acceleration of the blocks. So we have three subparts of the same question, and in the first case the force is given as a 40 Newton, and in the second case is 30, and the last case it is given as 60 Newton, and we are supposed to find out what will be the acceleration of the blocks. So first of all, we will try to understand the basic concept behind when the two blocks are one over the another and we have the friction between them. So let us say we have two blocks. Upper block is called as A, and we have a lower block which is called as B, which is lying on a surface. The force F is applied on the upper block. Okay. Now what is going to happen? You can see here force F is applied to block A. Now the block A will try to move in the forward direction, means towards the right side. Okay, so you can say that therefore block A will try to move towards right. Now because of this, its tendency to move in the forward direction, there will be friction between body A and body B. Okay, you can say that this will result in the friction between body A and B. So because of this friction, we can say that excuse me, because of this friction, body B will also try to move towards right. So we can say that if this is body A and force F is applied on it, so this body A will try to move the body B in the forward direction, which is because of friction. So we can say that body A will apply a frictional force F in the forward direction. Okay. Now because of this F force which is acting in the forward direction, there will be equal and opposite force that will be acting on the opposite direction. Okay. Therefore force which will be nothing but a frictional force. Frictional force will act on the body B towards right. Because of this frictional force which is acting towards the right, there will be equal and opposite force that will be acting in the opposite direction. Okay. Thus, an equal but opposite force and which will be also F will act on the body A. Body A. So we can represent that as this is our A, and A is exerting applied force is F. So A is exerting F force in the forward direction on B, and similarly there will be F force which is nothing but a frictional force that will acting on A in the opposite direction. Okay. And this is a surface. Now B also has the tendency to move towards the right side. So as B has the tendency to move toward the right side, there will be also a friction force between the ground as well as B. Okay. So you can say that as body B has the tendency to move toward right, a force of friction, rather we call it frictional force, will be present between body B and ground. So that can be represented as, this is our body A on which F force is applied, and we have body B, this is a force of friction because of this, and this is opposite one, and we have a ground, so there will be a force of friction, let us call this Fg, in the opposite direction. So this is the entire concept between the two bodies which have tendency to move one above another and have a coefficient of friction like given in the question. So now we can take the question one by one. So part A, it is given that there are two bodies, 5, and there is another body 10 kg, and 5 is being a force F which is equal to 40 Newton is being applied on it, and the coefficient of friction mu1 between the two bodies given as 0.5, and the body B, let us call this as A and this is B and ground is mu2 which is given as 0.2, and we are supposed to find out what will be the acceleration. Okay. So in this case, first of all, we are going to find out what will be the maximum frictional force that the body A can apply. Okay. We can say that maximum frictional force exerted by body A, and let us call this as FA max, and that will be equal to, because there will be normal, let me draw the diagram here. So this is body A, F force is being applied, so there will be a MAG in the downward direction, and there will be normal N1 in upward direction. Okay, and the friction force will be obviously acting in the backward direction. Okay, let us call this FA. So we can say that FA max will be equal to the maximum value of the frictional force of block A. FA max will be equal to mu1 into N1, and if we take G as 10 meter per second square, you can say that FA max will be equal to 0.5 to N1. N1 is MAG, mass is given as 5, G is 10, so we get this as 25 Newton. Similarly, we find out what will be our frictional force exerted by the body B. Okay. Maximum frictional force because of body B, let us call it FB max, and that will be U2 into N2. Okay, so in this case there will be body A and this will be body B, and this is FP, and there will be mg. M means mass of A plus B, so let us write it as capital M into G, and there will be normal N2. Okay. So here M is equal to mass of A plus mass of B. So we can say that FB max, maximum friction force, mu2 is given as 0.2, and this will be equal to N2, that is A plus B, that is 5 plus 10, 15. Okay, and this will be multiplied by 10. So we get this as 30 Newton. Now we are going to find out what will be the accelerations. You can say that for block B, that is for 10 kg. Okay. This is for 10 kg, and there will be a force acting in the forward direction, which will be nothing but 25, and we have a maximum friction force in the backward direction, whose value is equal to 30. Okay. So from here it clearly see that applied force maximum applied force is equal to 25 Newton, and maximum force of frictional force is equal to 30 Newton. So the body B will not move. It means its acceleration will be equal to 0. This implies that body B will not move, that is acceleration of B is equal to 0. Next we find out for A or block A, which is of 5 kg. This is block A of 5 kg, and we have a force of 40 Newton. Okay, and we have, it is given as 25. So maximum applied force is equal to 40 Newton, and max frictional force is equal to 25 Newton. So if it moves in this direction with the acceleration A, therefore acceleration A will be equal to 40 minus 25 divided by 5. So in this case we get acceleration of, let us suppose this was A, let's write A. So acceleration of A is equal to 3 meter per second square. So this completes the first part. Okay, the second part, B part, it's given that if 5, this is 10, and a force of 30 Newton, this is block A, this is block B, and we have mu1 of 0.5, and this surface is smooth. It means no friction. So we already calculated Fa max. Let me write it here. Fa max is equal to 25 Newton. Now in this case we are going to assume that both block A and B are moving all together, and then we are going to check whether our assumption is correct or not. Okay. So we assume, let block A and block B move together. Assume that block A and block B move together. So in this case, so this will be a force, frictional force Fa, and obviously here also there will be Fa, this direction, move together with the acceleration A, with acceleration A. Then we can say that our A will be equal to 30 divided by 15. Okay, so we assume that they are traveling a single block, big block, and whose is 15, and applied weight is 30. And this is smooth, so there will be no opposing force, and this is smooth surface. So if they are traveling with A in this direction, so we get acceleration as 2 meter per second square. Now we are going to check whether this condition is possible or not. Okay. So first of all, we consider block B. For block B, so we have a block B 10. It is moving with the acceleration of 2, and it has a force Fa. So from here we can say that, let us call this as F1. So we can say that F1 will be equal to 10 into 2, that is equal to 20 Newton. Okay, and we can use also block B. In case of block B also, the result will be same. So we have block B, which is of 5, and it is moving in the right. We have a 30, and let this be F1. You can see that 30 minus F1 will be equal to 2 into 5, which is 10. So we can find F1 is equal to 20 Newton. So either we can use block A or block B. The answer will be coming same. So we have F1, that is 20 Newton, but our F max is Fa max is 25 Newton. So we can clearly see that our F1 is less than Fa max, and this clearly states that both blocks are not going to move. Both blocks are not going to move with same, sorry, they are going to move, my mistake, they are going to move with the same acceleration. Which will be equal to A, and given as 2 meter per second square. And now we come to the C part. In the C part, we are given that blocks are there of 5 and this is 10 and a force of 60 Newton is applied and they are traveling with an acceleration of 4 meter per second square. And it is given that the coefficient is 0.1 and this is smooth. In this case also we are going to find out that we are going to assume that both blocks that is A and B travel with same acceleration in which case it is given as A is equal to 4 meter per second square. So let's consider individually both the blocks and find out the force which will act in the frictional force rather. So we have 5 is 60 and let us call this as FA and this will be traveling with the acceleration of 4. We can see that 60 minus FA will be equal to mass is 5 kg and acceleration is 4, so this is 5 into 4 which is equal to 20. So we can see that our FA will be coming as 40 Newton. Okay. Now maximum frictional force, that is Fa max will be equal to 0.5 into 5 into 10 and which will be coming as 25 Newton. So in this case we see that our Fa is greater than Fa max. So under this condition the blocks cannot move with same acceleration. Because the applied force is greater than maximum force. So it means it is simply going to move the upper block with a different acceleration and the lower block will be moving with a different acceleration. So now we are going to find out what will be the value of the accelerations, and so for block A so 5 kg and force is given 60 and we already know this value is 25, and let us suppose it is moving with the acceleration of A. So we can say that our acceleration of block A will be given as 60 minus 25 divided by 5, which will be coming as 35 over 5, which is 7. So acceleration of block A will be 7 meter per second square, and for block B this is block B, and it is forward direction 25, and it is smooth, so there is no need for a frictional force AB. We can see that AB will be equal to 25 divided by 10, that is 2.5. So acceleration of block B will be equal to 2.5 meter per second square. So this is the all the three parts. So the important thing which is to be kept in mind, that the upper block will always be forcing the lower block to move in the same direction. If the upper block is moving towards the left, the lower block also has the tendency to move towards the left. Okay. So according to the equation is going to change, and it's much better option to consider that two blocks are moving simultaneously either to left or right, and then find out the maximum frictional force and find out the frictional force and make a comparison between them, and then decide whether the condition of traveling together is satisfied or not. If it is being satisfied, okay, then they are going to move with the same acceleration. If not, then we can use like this. We can solve it for separate acceleration and get the answer. Thank you.